my name is Alondra Mayorga, and this is my biology final project. Segment 1, Ecosystem Interactions and Energy. Transfer of energy. The transfer of energy is when sunlight, the main energy source for life on Earth, goes through all living organisms. Sunlight can only be transferred by a producer. When producers have the energy, any heterotroph can consume them. To continue the energy flow, every time the energy goes into a new organism, it lessens. If the energy is at 100,000, every time an organism consumes it, it turns into 10,000, then 1,000, then 100, then 10, then 1. Interactions between organisms. Community interactions happen when all animals live in one ecosystem. Competition is a way of interaction. It's a lose-lose scenario where in a community or population fights over resources. Owls and coyotes all fight for one prey, which are mice. Predation. Predation is a win-lose scenario when an omnivore or carnivore eats another organism, such as a bear eating fish. Its prey. Mutualism is a win-win scenario when organisms help each other to live and grow and both benefit from it. Bees feed off the nectar and pollen, and as they feed, they spread pollen to other flowers, helping them reproduce. Commensalism is a win doesn't matter. When an organism benefits from another organism, but the other organism is not benefiting nor harmed. Barnacles are safe from whales, and the whales are not benefit nor harmed. Parasitism is a win-lose situation when one organism lives inside another one, and the organism harms it. Ticks feed on mammals and sometimes reptiles and amphibians' blood, and when they bite you, they carry viruses and bacteria which can harm you and even make you die. Atmosphere, photosynthesis, and respiration. Photosynthesis is when autotrophs produce food through the process of photosynthesis. The producers absorb light energy from the sun, using photosynthesis to transform it into a usable form of energy or food. The difference in how energy is transformed to photosynthesis and cellular respiration. Only producers can carry out photosynthesis. Both producers and consumers can carry out cellular respiration. Segment 3, Evidence of Evolution. Evidence of evolution can be found in fossils, comparative anodes such as homologous, analogous, vestigial structures. It can also be found in comparative embryology, biogeography, and DNA comparisons. Mechanism of evolution. Natural selection. Variation, difference in a trait, competition, struggle for existence, pressure to survive, heredity, survival of the fittest, survive, reproduce, pass on genes. Result of evolution can be found in many ways. Emergence of a new species, extinction of a new species, and or increase in a population of species. Inheritance of traits. Segment 4. Structure and function. Structure of DNA has many sections. First is the nucleotide. Phosphate, deoxysugar, and nitrogen make it. DNA is twisted in a ladder called a helix, then turns into a nucleosome, and then coils and becomes compacted into a bundle, which is made into a chromatid. And then the DNA chromosome replicates to make a sister chromatid. It has 2 loops, and in the center it's a centromere. Variety of genes. A mother and a father can either give a dominant gene or recessive gene. A child can either be a heterozygous, which is a dominant gene and a recessive gene, or a homozygous, where both genes are dominant or both genes are recessive. In some disorders, both parents can be carriers of a recessive gene. They may not be shown the disease, but when their child gets it, it is possible and gives a 25% probability that their child can come down with the illness. If the disorder is a dominant gene, then one of the parents must have it before giving it to the child. There is at least a 50% probability that the child will come down with the disorder if one of the parents carries it as a dominant gene. In autosomal inheritance, which is the examples I just gave, both male and female can be carriers. In X-linked inheritance, only females can be carriers. Females can be carriers due to the fact that females have 2 X chromosomes and the male only has 1 X chromosome and a Y chromosome. Segment 5, Structure, Function, and Growth. When a DNA strand replicates, it makes a chromosome replication. Thus, the chromosome then goes through a stage of metaphase 1. The homologous chromosome crosses over. And then it goes to phase 3. Anaphase 1. Homologous chromosomes separate. Laws of segregation are in here. And then it goes to telophase 1. 2 cells form. 2 cells have 46 chromosomes in each one. And then goes to prophase 2, then metaphase 2, when a chromosome lines up in the middle. And then it goes to anaphase 2, where the sister chromatids separate. Laws of independence assortment are in here. And then it finally goes to telophase 2. 4 sex cells form with half the number of chromosomes. Each of the 4 chromosome cells have 23 chromosomes.